the fires. The Bo Carver Show is on the air. The monkey crew is in place. And here's your head firemaster, Big Wheels, Bo Carver.
Too much coffee today, Bo Carver. James Carville saying, my man.
James Carver, I called you and you hadn't called me back yet. I'm mad at you, but I love you anyway, and we'll connect soon. I know you've been real busy, and you're a great judge, and you're all over the place, and that's what we appreciate about you. And you are tuned into the Wheels of Justice, and I am your host, Big Wheels Bo Carver, and we're here every Sunday at noon. And today is kind of a family affair. I see that the only guest we have besides the family is our typical monkeys.
They are our family.
Am I your family?
I think we have a new one somewhere.
This one?
I think that guy's new. So, yes, this is a special day today, as you might guess. If you are a father or you have a father, or you might wish you could have a father.
Let me introduce. It's Sunday. Is that what's special?
It is Sunday.
It's Sunday. So
Happy Father's Day to all the
what did you
fathers.
just do to my mic? You literally.
Well, I want you need to get into it.
Hello.
Okay. Well, we're already off to a great arguing start here on the Family Feud.
It's the third Sunday of June.
Is that what it is? It's
Yes.
full moon too, isn't it?
I don't know.
You
thought
argue
it
with
was-
me every time I look at the moon and say it's full.
I don't think last night was full. I think it was
don't
kind
know.
of a partial.
I didn't
little
get
bit.
drunk last night, so I guess it wasn't.
Maybe that's why you thought it was. Anyway, you are tuned again to the Wheels of Justice, and you can follow us on the Facebook Live channel at facebook.com/Bo Carver Show, and that's BOCARV like in Victor ER show. And you can also tell your friends and neighbors that that are not Facebook junkies and they'd like to tune into the show and also visualize the show.
Visualize. They can actually see what we look like.
We had some friends tell us last night that they just like to listen.
They listen to it. They don't even watch it.
Rose and Robert, thank you for that lovely comment. I don't know how to really take that, but as long as you're tuned in, how about that?
There you
That's
go.
fair.
I'm good with
Yeah,
that.
I'll take someone just listening.
So, but you can listen or you can visually see and listen on both youtube.com and then search Bo Carver Show. That's live. And Hank Hochstetler, I hope you're tuned in, and happy Father's Day because he's one of my YouTubers. Thank you, Hank.
Love you.
The Amish Mafia brother of mine.
Amen.
He's my security blanket.
He's your bodyguard.
He's my bodyguard. And so those are the places that you can listen and see us, and we appreciate that. And co-hosting today, as always, I kind of want to say Purple Haze.
I still have purple lipstick and purple nails.
But she is Purple Haze. That's
Yeah,
her
by heart.
wrestling name. And she's we're both. We're part of the Pride and Glory Professional Wrestling Organization. And what an organization that is. That is fantastic professional wrestling at its best, that they're out to give back and to serve. And there's a match coming up July the 27th.
Yes.
And that is going to be raising money for the Texas Marine Corps League number 1300.
1300 Denton, Texas.
Is that how you say that?
Yes, sir.
1300. I can't say
Too much
1300.
coffee. You can. You say whatever you want. It's Father's Day.
And this is going to be a great match. We had the last one on May 4th and raised a bunch of money for the Women's Veterans of America. And this is going to be at Driven Elite at 2686 Old Alton Road in Denton, Texas. And it's just right across down the street a little bit from Geyer High School in Denton, Texas. So everybody that's out of the Denton, Texas area, make your plans. Come in from out of town. Our friends from Pittsburgh, make your plans. Get yourself ready to go. Colorado.
Get on that broom and fly down here.
Holland. Karen Howell, get your ticket and get down here for July 27th fight. And it's for a great cause. And I'm telling you, the matches are going to be 6 matches, and they're fantastic. And guess what?
Malico
There's going to
will
be
there.
2 MCs in the ring.
Ooh, ooh.
Oh God.
And one of them is me, Big Wheels Bo, and Purple Haze,
For Purple Hearts.
who was fired by Killer Kate.
Oh no!
Killer Kate fired her, and now they've given her promotion and got her in the ring with me to MC. So you don't want to miss that. Whether you want to come see
That's
the
going to be a
matches
match
or
of
not,
its own.
that's
you
going to
and
be
I.
probably a that could get bloody.
Yeah. If you want to see
War of the Roses. Come on down.
two adults fight over a drop pencil, then get in the ring with us. Come on.
We'll be battling who actually has the pencil and who was supposed to bring it. And so the tickets are $10, or you can get a family pack for $30, which is 4 tickets. And you can go to Eventbrite, EVENTBRITE.com, and order tickets there. It's real simple, real easy. Then you can also go to Ashton Jacobs, ASTONJACOBS, on Facebook and order tickets from them. This is the Pride and Glory Professional Wrestling, so don't forget about that. It's going to be fantastic, July 27th. Thank you, Barbara Ann.
Family
Purple Haze.
entertainment.
Family entertainment.
that's
my
children love
grandbabies
it.
will
Actually,
be there.
I think I'm starting to get the Pride and Glory name. They have a lot of pride in what they do. They do it with a lot of passion. They really care about the industry, and they don't want it to go under. They're not foul in any way, shape, or form. They're all about family matters and just having a fun time and entertaining.
And giving back.
Yeah, and then the glory is they have a lot of glory in the cause that they're doing. That was my next point, is they really take pride in doing what they enjoy, and that's very respectable, and it's very fun to watch. So
Oh, it was a good time.
And that person that's speaking right there is the one and only. We don't think there's another one.
He
Kinda
broke
hoping
the
they're
mold
in.
on this one.
Please make welcome Graham Knox Maribel Carver.
hello, beautifuls. Actually, the banner itself says, "I am your son." That's it. That's my call tag. I am genetically
That's what I tried to
related
name you, but they wouldn't let me get away with that. So.
Just
Thank y'all. And thank you, Barbara Ann, Purple Haze, and Graham Knox Maribel Carver for being here on this special Father's Day family
So
affair.
can I say Happy Father's Day and Happy Stepfather's Day to you both?
Yes, thank you very much.
And all of our
We just don't
listeners.
know how many of them are out there, but I appreciate that.
Fathers or stepfathers?
Children.
What are you talking? Oh, no. Okay, never mind. Yeah, you have warned me if someone knocks at the door to be
Yes,
prepared.
be
Okay, I got you.
So
Sorry,
this is
Graham.
now I want to say something real quick. If you're a father, and I'm speaking to myself right here now, please do what you need to do to be the best father you can be. There's a great song by Michael Jackson. Now, forget about the individual for a minute. Don't worry about that. Don't get off into all that situation. But the song called Man in the Mirror is a fantastic song about
now it's gonna be stuck in my head. You can't do that.
when you look in that mirror and say that change happens with you, happens with me. You can't blame it on anybody else. So let's try to become the best fathers we can be.
Because that child is watching you too.
And
They're doing exactly what you do.
time flies.
Yeah.
And before you know it, I mean, if you're involved heavily in your jobs and you go, oh, well, I'll get to it later, there's time. Well, that time passes and you didn't get that time with your child, your son or your daughter.
They're gone.
And you regret it.
Yep.
And don't let that sink into you. Don't let that happen to your soul or your spirit and to your child, because fathers are probably one of the most important things that a child needs to have in its life. It's been proven. And so make that change. And if you're a good father, bless you and keep up the good work and help others become good fathers, because it's real important that we help these young men and women to grow up. And some of the breakdown in our society, I believe, is because a lot of fathers have been out of the eyes and love of these children. So let's make a change. Let's start with us. Let's make today not only be Happy Father's Day and cooking out and barbecue and all that wonderful stuff, but let's make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to do as fathers to make that impact on our child's life.
So whether you're a father or a stepfather, like Bo, you stepped up to my girls and you made a difference. I mean, as I say, a good step parent can literally turn the life of a child around. There's brothers that step in as fathers. You may not be their father biologically, but you're taking care of them. we wish y'all a happy birthday, a happy Father's Day as well, because you're an important role model to a child.
And if you have a birthday today, happy birthday,
birthday,
too.
yeah, sorry.
It doesn't take a lot to be an actual father. It takes a lot to be a fatherly figure and do what it is.
Do what's right for that child. That's right.
So that's kind of, we're going to be talking a little bit more about Father's Day, but that's my little rant about that.
I thought you were going to say, well, this, I'm talking to myself too, talking to all the fathers. Make sure you can be the best father you can. There's also this good Michael Jackson song called Billie Jean, and that's kind of how I feel right now. That kid, he's not mine. I thought you were going to go on a little tangent about me, not about fathers. Yeah.
We love you, Carver.
Sometimes you do.
She's speaking.
So do you guys know the history of Father's Day?
No, we'll get to that in a minute. So hang on. And so we're going to continue talking about things about Father's Day. And if you may or may not know about some of these things. And so we hope we bring a little enlightenment to you about that. And thanks for joining us today. You are tuned in to the Wheels of Justice every Sunday at noon here on Facebook live channel at facebook.com/Bo Carver Show, or YouTube, and then search Bo Carver Show. And that's a live channel feed as well. I want to now, has anybody ever that knows me, do y'all ever have seen me put my foot in my mouth? Like maybe daily?
Literally or metaphorically?
Both. But okay, I'll just get right to it. Speaking of birthdays, I have a school friend from back in the day.
Oh God.
That had a birthday this past week. And she made a comment about she got this bouquet, this happy birthday balloon, and a bouquet of a bunch of stuff in there. It looked kind of fattening to me, but whatever. But it was a lot of stuff. And she was saying, hey, I can't say who did it. I got to keep it quiet. And of course I go like, well, you need to spill the beans. And she goes, well, if you'll sing happy birthday to me on your show, I will spill the beans. And guess what I said?
Anything for you to sing, done.
I said, well, that's my job, is try to get stuff out of people and get the beans spilled. So guess what? I agree to.
Are you nervous?
Just do it.
I agreed to sing happy birthday to Cindy Richardson Wright. Okay.
Oh, you're going to record this, Carver?
And please, this is not an audition by Bo Carver to be in anybody's band or to try to get on what is those shows like
American
Idol. Now this has nothing to do with
You're
that.
You're too old for those.
Okay, and you can laugh if you want. You can cry if you want.
I will.
You can
plug your ears if you want.
You can rejoice in Cindy Richardson Wright's birthday.
OMG.
Or you can cry for her because I'm going to sing.
How many people are now going to make you do
happy
this?
Before you
birthday.
start, Cindy Richardson Wright, that's her name?
Yeah, Right.
Just happy birthday. I love you. Your birthday has to be one of the best blessings of this year. It's so nice. I never get to hear my father sing unless he's performing. And when he's performing, he's nervous and he's excited.
Oh, he's not nervous.
Okay, he's the type of nervous where he goes mad. I mean, he just
go mad.
Yeah,
I'm born
okay,
mad.
she says go for it. She's on Facebook.
All right.
Let's go.
She's here.
Okay.
She's ready to go. Okay, so everybody, here it is. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Cindy Richardson Wright. You may be right and I may be wrong.
OMG.
Happy birthday to you.
And many more. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I
hope it
love
was worth
you.
it.
I love
Oh.
you. You're amazing.
And so you have to now regurgitate that information
Regurgitate.
on Facebook of where you got your bouquet. And happy birthday for real. And I hope I didn't destroy that song for you.
Well,
and I
everybody
hope
on
it was a blessing.
Facebook is wishing her a happy birthday.
Well, there you go.
Is that implying that was so bad that she's going to literally vomit?
Well, I
that
kind of
wasn't
what I
that
was
bad. That
that
wasn't
would
that bad.
he's
He
a
did
good
pretty
singer,
good.
yeah. And
Well,
even when he's not trying that much, he's better.
Well, it is kind of early for me. And number two is I have nothing to set the tune. And I am on live on the air here. It is a little bit disconcerting, but I made it. We did it. Happy birthday, Cindy Richardson Wright. And
Amen.
share the news about that bouquet. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
Lord.
And also, before we get to more of the stuff that we're going to get to, I am wearing the
in
thoughts.
Your corner.
And we're in your corner.
JR, I know I was an obnoxious teammate and probably a very obnoxious person when I was younger, and I'm probably still more obnoxious and more pretentious than ever. But your fight means a lot to us as a family, and we're very proud of you for how strong and how courageous you've been thus far.
Yes, we're there for you.
And we have been praying for
And
you.
God bless.
And you know what? He was always smiling. He was always upbeat to me. He was actually, a lot of times he would encourage me like I would encourage him. Such a genuine young man. And we're pulling for you. And you're going to beat this, dude. This is all good. And we're praying. And I got the shirt on today.
I got your answer.
What is that?
Her sister sent it.
Her sister?
Her sister sent that. You sang
Bouquet.
a song for an answer.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't worth it, Father?
Cindy?
Oh, man.
It wasn't
you
worth
kidding
it.
You thought a
was
guy
it?
sent it to her?
Boy, I want to take that song back. Well, that's what happens where, you're in the media.
When you let your mind go crazy.
Yeah, that's what happens. I think she's lying, though. I don't believe that.
She said, "Oh, that was so sweet. Thank you." And it's my
don't-
sister that's
You'll have to interrogate her.
I-
You have to interrogate
I call
her.
baloney on that.
You want to call her sister?
I call bullsh.
BS.
No, what probably happened is a secret guy sent it to her, and then her sister didn't get her anything. So her sister shows up, and she's like,
Regifting?
Yeah, and then she's like, Cindy, that bouquet is so nice. And she's like, oh, quit the joking. I know you sent it to me. And you just have to go along with it because you can't say, oh, well, I didn't get you anything. We've been sisters for a very long time. I feel like I already paid out my debt. But
Well, if that's true, then I'm glad you got a loving sister, but I'm still really not true. I'm not buying it.
tell us who the guy is,
I'm
Cindy.
not buying it. So anyway, let's move on. And again, we are here every Sunday at noon. So tell friends and neighbors about us. And if you're on Facebook, tell friends that are not Facebook followers to go to YouTube. And we just cover a lot of things from A to Z on our show. And we appreciate y'all tuning in and being a help to our cause here.
And we want to thank Karen Hawa for her Mocha Coffee sponsorship that we have.
Yes, Karen Hawa, right here. If you want the best coffee in the world, that's it. MOKK-A.com. Karen, we love you. The coffee we love as well. Not sure which one we love the most.
They're different because I like one over yours.
Equal, but this is the fantastic, and you should try it. MOKK-A.com.
So there's actually a little story. We went. No, it's very short. Trust me. I'm not gonna waste all your runtime unless you make me. So we go into the studio to record our commercial for her and her beautiful coffee. I probably drank too much. Anyways, so we get in there and we do what? Probably like 8, 9, 10 takes to get everything down. And the dude who mixed it was really nice. Who was that?
Dave Bradford.
No,
Dan Bradford.
Excuse me.
Sorry, Dan.
Dan Bradford.
Yeah,
Yes,
very
the
nice
great
guy,
Dan
yeah.
Bradford.
He was very good. And so he mixes it all together. But they get to me, and I have one line. It's I want some mocha coffee too. And I get very nervous for some reason.
It took him 10 takes to get that.
It took me at least 16 or something takes just to say I want some mocha coffee too, right? Because they're like more enthusiasm, do this, do that, and then they.
And
go
then the
through
one
it.
he used was your practice
I was
one.
just a
The
practice.
very first one.
I went, oh, I want some mocha coffee too, and then he was like, oh, that's good, and I didn't even know he
had
my
recorded
mic
you.
on or
Just
anything.
left
It was
it.
perfect.
So Mocha Coffee, MOKK-A.com. And thank you for being a sponsor on the show. And also to Tsunami Digital Network that powers our shows. We appreciate that.
And Pride and Glory, they sponsor as
Pride
well.
and Glory, yes. So,
Happy Father's Day, Mark.
yes, happy Father's Day, Mark Roy.
He's
And
on.
for Pride and Glory, we love you. And we love
I know we
the
talk
Pride and
about
Glory.
them too much, don't we?
Wait, am I
Well, I
not putting
doubt
this? Am I not putting this? Wait, is Ashton Mark's son?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so stupid.
Yes.
I'm
gonna
glad you
say
finally
yes.
recognized that.
So dumb. That
You
makes-
didn't know that?
No, I just figured that out. Like just now. When he said Happy
Wow.
Father's Day, I'm like, I haven't met his. Oh,
He's got a daughter your age too.
I don't have I met her. I don't think I have. I've only met
You don't
Ashton.
get out much, but that's another story.
Neither does she.
So let's move on here. We are on Father's Day today, and some of the things we want to cover is the statistician of the show is Graham Knox
Statistician.
Mirabo Carver.
Statistician.
New
That's such a
title.
That's his
prestigious
new title.
for me. Thank
And
you.
so he's going to give us a little bit of a rundown about how Father's Day got going, how it got started. So give us.
And he's drinking mocha coffee, so
Yes.
he's hyped up.
So get ready.
If you leave the show now, I understand.
Let's roll it.
Okay, so Father's Day #1 is celebrated on. It's the third Sunday every June. So that means that every June of every year, the third Sunday comes along. It's June 16th, and the next year I think it's going to be June 21st. Okay, and then it honors fathers and fatherhood.
Is
and
there a
fatherliness.
reason why they chose the third Sunday in June?
I'll get to that.
Okay.
Okay, and then Father's Day was inaugurated in the U.S. in the early 20th century to complement Mother's Day. Celebrated fathers, fathering, fatherhood. Father's Day was founded in Spokane, Washington.
Yes.
Stupid name for a city. That's
I
what
ain't
that
gonna
is.
argue with that.
At YMCA in 1910 by Sonora Smart Dodd, which I'm sorry, but that's a really funny name. Who was
Yeah.
born in Arkansas, and then Catholic
The
countries.
smart part might be
yeah.
questionable, right?
Catholic countries of Europe celebrated on March 19th since the Middle Ages. So they've been celebrating for a very, very long time, since the 100s. And so it goes like this. #1, in 1924, President Calvin
Coolidge.
Coolidge. Oh my God, the names.
Well, I'm glad your dad's here today.
Yeah, because I can't do names.
I remember him.
Not good.
He publicly supports plans for a national Father's Day because it wasn't national yet. It was
And it
just
was in 1924?
Yes, 1924. In 1966, President Lyndon Johnson.
Lyndon Baines Johnson.
Oh my God!
Hey,
why do you
Bo
know
was
all the
born
names?
because Bo was born then.
Signs proclamation calling for Father's Day to become to be celebrated on third Sunday of June. That's why. And then he really
So
didn't
is
state a
that's
reason.
when it became a national holiday?
No. In
Oh,
1972, President Richard Nixon signs into law
Tricky Dick.
a permanent recognition of Father's Day. See, I'm jittered, so I can't
Wow,
talk.
that was only in 1972.
Yep.
Wow.
It's permanent now. so you
Permanent.
can't
Well,
get
I
rid of
guess I got there in at the right time. Didn't
So guess what? Guess.
I? Although I don't have any presents to show for it.
guess the
Any what?
Presents.
We just got started.
Oh,
Be
yeah.
quiet, Dad.
Okay.
Don't let us win. Guess
Father's
what?
Day for
Guess what? We're
everybody
taking you to
else.
Iceland. All
So
right,
that
moving on. Guess how many cards are sent for Father's Day
in America or
in
the world?
US, in the U.S. Take
I'm
it.
going to say 10,550,000.
That's such a specific guess, but Rand.
5,000.
5,000.
It is Father's Day, not Mother's Day.
In America?
72 million cards given
Hey,
each
I was
year
only
to
60
fathers.
million off.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's the fourth largest. So it's very
Wow.
popular, actually.
So
Mother's Day is number
do
one.
you know what the others are above that are?
No.
Well, you
I'm
didn't
not
do
gonna
your
go that
homework.
far
I
did you?
guarantee
I'm
you
sure
Mother's
Mother's
Day
Day
is
is up
number
there.
one. Yes.
Higher that. Well, Christmas probably gets a lot.
Valentine's Day would probably be number two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's probably up there.
Valentine's Day. Who sends cards for
Oh,
Valentine's
it's ridiculous. Anyways, okay.
You have to do that on Valentine's Day if you've got any kind of relationship, or you won't
Do
have
you have
one
any
after
more,
that.
Carver?
Day? Yeah, I was really
It'll be over.
I was really antsy and jittered.
Valentine's Day is
so
what
I just-
turns you into a father. Just remember
Oh
that.
yeah, that's probably
Oh,
part
that's
of
so
it too.
sweet.
So you send the card out, and then about a year
That's
later,
why there's so
you
many.
get the card back.
That's why there's so many December
says-
babies. If you think
It
about it,
says Happy Father's Day.
You just
Same
changed
card,
my
regifting.
life.
I just changed your life.
Now every December baby I'm gonna run into.
You're
is
gonna
like,
know
that was
that-
just a romantic spur.
That was a thank you for
Yeah.
Valentine's Day. Yeah.
Anyway,
Boy.
so yeah, I was jittered and
I'm a December baby.
Do we have
Thank
to really
you, Mom
give
and
thanks for a
Dad.
lot of things like
Oh
that?
my gosh. Anyway, so I was shaky and jittered, so I just did a bunch of random stuff. So this has to do with a father, so that's why it pertains to Father's Day. This guy named Halsey Taylor, who invented the water fountain, which you may know for giving you water, in 1912 as a tribute to his father, who succumbed to typhoid fever after drinking from a contaminated public water supply in 1896.
Hey, I know the story of that. Typhoid Mary.
What?
Never mind.
Okay.
I think that's somebody personally,
That's a person who that they named that disease after her.
Oh, I thought you were talking
Oh,
about this
I
story.
thought
was
you were
like,
talking
oh,
about.
go
I
ahead.
thought
Go
you were
ahead.
talking about one of your cousins. Or
And
She's
then
the go ahead.
and then I'm just gonna give just this is. Can I give you just a random fact?
yeah, we're all random right here.
so-
right
so-
now. We're
so-
randomly here.
So Charlemagne, which was the 8th century king of the Franks, not French Franks, which turned into the
Hot dog. Franks, get it?
I don't like you. I don't like you. The
Go
8th century
ahead.
of Franks, which then to form on Francia, which went on to West and East, and yeah. Anyway, so he united most of Western Europe through military campaigns, and is known as the king and father of Europe. Charlemagne was a devoted father to 18 children, and many Europeans.
How you be devoted to that?
I don't know. You're not even devoted to one.
That's why I'm asking on the 18.
Many Europeans may
must
claim
hit out a lot.
Charlemagne as their ancestor because he had so many kids. And then it's like 0.5% of men claim the Mongolian Genghis Khan as their ancestor as well. 0.5% of men.
He was busy.
Yeah, he had like ungodly amount of kids, and none of them were consensual. So bad
okay,
story.
well, yeah, we don't want to get into
Yeah,
all that.
that's when-
another whole
that's when things
show.
get sad.
Let's move away from that part. Hey, thanks for that statistician there, Graham Knox-Mirabo Carver, on that data that you brought up about Father's Day. And I didn't realize it was that far down the road. It was 1972. Is that right?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Richard Nixon made it a national holiday. Well,
Yes, sir.
That's pretty crazy.
that's
huh?
awesome. And if you are a father, happy Father's Day. My father's passed, and he's has been gone for a little while. But these kind of days is when you wish you could spend some time with them, and that's kind of what I want to say too. Is that we never know when it's over, and life is short. And I know that there's a lot of folk out there that their fathers are not around, and they would love to have them around. And I know Barbara Ann's father's one of them.
Oh yeah, I lost my dad when I was 26. He passed away at 51. He was on a heart transplant list, so that's why knowing JR needs a transplant is kind of deep in our heart because my father passed away when he was on the list. And he was very important to me. He was my confidant. So my dad meant the world to me, and he's-
Confidant. What does that mean?
I called him when I needed advice. He's the one that kept me married so long in my first marriage. And
That wasn't very good advice.
Make it sound like it's not. It wasn't the husband. It wasn't you. It was your dad.
my dad was a firm believer. We were raised, Catholic, firm believer in keeping the family together for
So
the
you
kids.
get married once. You got to keep married.
Yeah, I didn't believe in divorce, and my
Were you-
dad always helped me get through what I needed to get through because I was trying to stick to that, but it wasn't my choice on my divorce, so so everything's good. But my dad was just there when I needed. He wasn't there a lot when I was growing up because, like Bo said, he was always working. We had 4 kids. He was always at work, and then my mom was working a second shift. He would work the other, and he was sleeping when we were home. So I didn't get to see a lot of my dad.
No, I think there's this consensus that kids are forming because in all reality, kids are becoming more lazy than ever. But that's a whole nother topic. But when a father, and you're not like this because you're moving towards retirement at least, so you're trying to give yourself.
Are you sure
some
about
slack.
that?
I thought you were like 8 years ago, and then
But if you
it's just
think about
starting to think,
retirement, my dad was saving up for retirement,
Yeah,
and
so-
he passed away before he even got there.
That's terrible.
You got to live
Yeah.
life to your fullest and be there for
Uh,
your parents because, like your dad said, you never know when it's going to happen.
But yeah, there's this consensus that when a kid comes home and then their dad isn't as involved, and then a meal appears on your table. A lot of people don't put together that meal was most likely a product of labor, very hard labor from your parents, and so they don't appreciate that. They just jump. He's a lazy.
What about the
old
utilities
bum."
they're playing with those
Yeah,
video
yeah, they're-
games?
Well,
Yeah.
A lot of people. A lot of
okay.
people just see the things they're given and take.
But
them for
that's a
granted.
problem
Yeah.
because we've ended up now buying or trying to buy love from our kids, and whether it's a game or even food on the table or electricity or whatever that may be, is that doesn't bring the relationship together. Those are items that maybe show an appreciation, but without the relationship, without being connected to where you could be connected and have the love for each other when there's nothing, when you're scrounging around for a bean and you split that bean together and there's no electricity and there's no heat, no water, those kind of things like that, is what you have to realize. That's what builds the relationship, not how much fried chicken or kind of food I put on your table, Graham, when you're a big eater. So we have to do that, but that's another story too. It's about the connection. And I believe back in the day, there was a lot more of that connection because families were like, there was farmers and they worked together. They did things together within the family. There
Families
were
that
family
work together stayed together.
family businesses, and so there was this interaction between all of the family, the fathers and the children and the mom, and there was that kind of communication. The Amish families are a good example of how they're all being together, working together for the cause, and that's a relationship. And so, excuse me, not going out someplace, and I'm not trying to pick on anybody in particular. You know what the status is where you're at, but I used to drive limousines and drove one of the largest companies around. Well, listen, listen.
Okay.
Go ahead,
And I drove a lot of high priority people, I guess the
High
word
status people.
high status people that work for large corporations. And one of them's here in Irving, Texas, an oil company that we would pick up. I would go pick some of these gentlemen up, or ladies included, and take them to the airport early on either late Friday, a Sunday evening, or Monday morning. And they wouldn't come back to either late Friday night or even Saturday morning. And they'd spend maybe 2 days with their family, and they're off going again. And I saw a lot of them with a lot of depression on their face, and they lived in high, mighty homes, big homes, had all the riches you might would want, 2 or 3 cars in the garage and outside the garage. But there was something missing, and they would complain a lot about, I do not spend enough time with my family. But then they got caught up into a whirlwind. They're making this big money. They got all this stuff. They got all this materialistic things, but that's not going to what makes your family.
Do you think, sorry to interrupt, do you think that the more money you have, the more scared you are of losing it all?
Well, I think that is with some people. I mean, some people that get a lot of money and they blow it and it's gone. So that's a different story. But what I'm saying is that we've gotten pretty materialistic in this country, and I think that's really divided this country, and because of this, divided the families, and the families are our country. That's what it starts as a foundation. We're a foundation with family, and it goes out from there to where we help other families.
Well, with you saying that, then that leads to the next subject: stepdads.
Okay.
My gosh, they say right now 4 in 10 Americans adults have a step relative, step parent, child, etc. 1 in 2 marriages and divorces.
That's 50%.
Yeah, 1,300 new step families form. Parent and partner
day.
every day.
What was that again? Repeat that.
What is it, Graham?
It's 1,300 new step families form every
day. So
Wow.
basically, when I looked up, they said there's 1 million children basically experience a divorce every year, and a lot of it have to do with one guy's working all the time. You know, the other parent gets lonely, or just basically, like you said, families. Just 50% of marriages do not survive.
And that's insane to me. And then it's I looked that up. It's like 75% remarry.
Mm-hmm.
So
usually
really,
within 5 years of a divorce.
So really, what is? I guess I just don't understand due to the fact that I haven't married anyone. What is the point to marriage if there's not some sort of guarantee of it?
Oh, that'll be another subject.
Yeah,
right now,
because there's so many people who marry so young into their life and are just in a flurry to get things done.
That's a different story.
Well,
but I want to stay on stepfather.
Okay, go ahead.
And I want to
Sorry
thank
to
you
interrupt you.
because you've made a difference. Like when my daughters were younger and my first husband had moved out of state and he wasn't around, you were there for Tatum during some of her heartbreaks. You were there when I needed you because I had to work and I couldn't go do something, and you were there for me. So I want to thank you as a stepfather and a mother for being there for my kids. Because as I say, whether biological or not, you are an important figure in my child's life. And one of my favorite quotes is, a step parent is so much more than just a parent. They made the choice to love when they didn't have to. So I want to thank you. A good step parent can literally turn a life around in a child. And I want to thank you for being there for me and my girls and all the other stepfathers and brothers that have stepped down. I want to say thank you.
And I'd like to make a comment to the stepchildren is that
Ron Tatum.
you need to give your stepfathers a chance. I know that sometimes I know that sometimes that you're
That is true.
you're in a position to where it was out of your control.
And
All
you're
right.
hating. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, this is serious, Carver. It was out of your control about the divorce of your mom and dad, and it is tough. I understand that.
Oh,
I
you've been
totally
through it
get
more
that.
than once.
And I just
You have.
I want to say that you have to do that because they could be an extra added benefit to you and
Yes.
an extra added father. But if you go into it like I don't care, I don't, this guy, he's not going to get an ounce of energy from me and an ounce a second of care from me,
Because you're
and
hating.
I'm going to put this wall up. You are doing yourself the hugest big disservice you could ever
Yes.
do to yourself ever.
Yes.
Well, this year Budweiser is honoring stepfathers. So go to YouTube or Google it. They've got 4 commercials that are going to make you cry. But this year Budweiser honored stepfathers for Father's Day. So you need to check those videos out because they'll make you laugh and they'll make you cry.
See what I think is it's love and maybe not love. You don't have to love your stepfamily. You should, and it's very easy to. Trust me, I very very quickly came to love you, Barbarian, and you may not be
You
a
had no
stepfather.
choice.
I had a choice. You
You
have a
grew
choice.
up with me.
Yeah,
You-
but I still had a choice because blood, no matter what anyone says, blood is important,
Yeah.
and blood does force relationship very, very often. It doesn't mean a good one, but it forced you have to talk to this person
Yeah.
they're related to you. I don't have to. I don't
I
have
was
to
lucky
communicate.
you were young.
Yeah, that's true.
Because
Most people,
Bo
a lot
walked
of
in
people
at 8
aren't
and 12.
young.
Yeah.
A lot of people are 12, like you said, and that's a lot harder. And
Yeah.
I don't understand how people can go through that because that seems very difficult to me. But we didn't have to form a bond.
That's true.
It's just very easy to do that with someone.
Well, I
If you
think
give yourself, if you give yourself the chance to form, whether it be a new friend or they're never going to be a replacement for your father, and I don't think any stepfather or stepmother tries to be a replacement. You can find a friend or a family member in a person you give
bonus.
the chance.
A second, a bonus.
It's
It is
very
a
easy.
bonus.
And there's so many things that step parents can bring to the table if you let them. And divorce can be very hard on a child,
Yes, it can.
and it can really tear apart families. But after that resent and after that hatred may fall, give yourself a chance to find not a replacement but an add-on to your life.
right, and I think one of the biggest reasons that happens to a lot of young men and women is that they don't want to go through another separation.
Yeah, they're
Because they're going now through this one with their real father and their real mom, and so they're going like, dude, that's it. I'm not going to go through this again. I'm not going to accept
attached,
another
yep.
person. I'm not going to accept that person, and so I'm just going to put this wall up for everybody. And life is just not guaranteed to be always that easy. There are complications we have to deal with in our life, but if you throw the wall up, all you're doing is separating yourself from what might be able to be a blessing into your life. And I promise you, you are going to suffer from it. And so we're going to wrap it up here. And we hope that some of this information we brought to you today was helpful. And it is Father's Day. And
share some love.
and what be sure to, again, fathers, make sure that you're doing the things you're supposed to be doing to be that great connection for your children, because you only get one shot at it. You don't get to come back 20 years and go, hey, wait a minute, let me do what we do here. It's over by the time they get 18 years old, or maybe even less than that. If you've not made that real strong connection and you're there for your child and you can listen to your child and know your child and have that connection with your child, it's over. And so we just want to share with you today to love your father, and father, love your children. And you do like the old saying is, can't we just all get along?
Can't we all just get along? Love everybody. Hug a veteran, y'all.
Yes, hug a veteran, and we love you until next Sunday for the Wheels of Justice. You have a great day, a great weekend, and we love you. And we are out.
Happy Father's Day.
Oh, in sync.